Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sid Alpha. Now, recently, Fortnite, the sandbox survival game published by Epic Games, designers of the Unreal 4 engine, announced that it would be releasing its own Battle Royale mode that is due to release on September 26th, which is just a few days away, and it would seem that a certain other Battle Royale game developer has taken issue to this happening. In a statement released earlier today, Chang Han Kim, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, if not I apologize, the vice president and executive producer for Bluehole Incorporated had the following to say, and this has been verified via multiple sites, but for this purpose I'm actually going to use the paste bin of the press release posted to Twitter by TotalBiscuit. We've had an ongoing relationship with Epic Games throughout PUBG's development, as they are the creators of the Unreal 4 engine, the engine we licensed for the game. After listening to the growing feedback from our community and reviewing the gameplay for ourselves, we are concerned that Fortnite may be replicating the experience for which PUBG is known. The development team for PUBG has no relationship to Fortnite's development, as concerns around user interface, gameplay, and structural replication in the Battle Royale mode exist. We have also noticed that Epic Games references PUBG in the promotion of Fortnite to their community and in communications with the press. This was never discussed with us, and we don't feel that it is right. Now, this is in reference to the Fortnite announcements, where in the video they state they are fans of the Battle Royale genre like PUBG and H1Z1.
At Epic, we're huge fans of the Battle Royale genre and games like PUBG and H1Z1, and we thought that Fortnite was the perfect world.
With its release on March 23, 2017, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a last-man-standing shooter that drops players on a realistic 8x8 kilometer island where they start with nothing in an ever-diminishing field of play. Gamers must fight to locate weapons, vehicles, and supplies as they strive to be the lone survivor. Now, in a recent Reddit AMA, Brendan Green, aka PlayerUnknown, was asked about other companies replicating the Battle Royale experience. He said, "Other companies will, of course, enter the marketplace, but I would just hope that they put their own spin on the game mode and not just make a carbon copy." Chang Han Kim closed, "The PUBG community has and continues to provide evidence of the many similarities as we contemplate further action." And that final statement about contemplating further action sounds quite ominous and rather litigious in nature, of which it would be interesting to see if Bluehole has any legal ground to stand on, which I honestly don't think they do. Of course, as a result of this statement by Bluehole, the internet has been lit on fire, with some defending Epic Games and others cheerleading for PUBG, leaving the impression that PUBG somehow owns the rights to an entire game genre. There have even been direct misinformation delivered to the public as a result of this situation, like Chris Pereira on GameSpot going so far as to say, quote, "Brendan PlayerUnknown Green invented the Battle Royale game mode long before he turned it into a standalone game with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds." And as there seems to be a lot of wild speculation, even on the part of journalists in regards to this situation, I thought I would take us down a little trip as to where the Battle Royale game mode came from and what the earliest incarnations of it actually was, because I can guarantee you it most certainly was not invented by Brendan Green, as some people would like to think. Actually, let's start with Brendan Green and work our way from there. Now, Brendan Green, who is now better known as PlayerUnknown, got his Battle Royale start with a mod for Arma 3 titled Battle Royale. That mod was released in April of 2015 and was phenomenally popular, as were other mods of the Arma 3 game like the original DayZ. As a result of that, Green was hired as a consultant for H1Z1's King of the Hill, which was launched into early access in February of 2016. Which seems to have contained the core concept behind much of what we see now in the standalone game PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which was released in early access earlier this year. But as I said, the idea of the Battle Royale video game mode goes back even further than that. Now, the idea behind this particular game mode came from a movie that was titled, easily enough to remember, Battle Royale. A Battle Royale initially released in theaters January 1st in 2000, but didn't actually come into the US until far later in 2011. The movie itself focuses on the premise of a bunch of school children that are forced to battle to the death on an island, where the last man standing survivor gets to leave. Those children were also made to wear explosive collars. If they break a rule, the collar explodes. Also, if there is more than one survivor, the collars explode, killing them all. A simple premise and a very popular movie. And as a result of that movie, we've seen the idea of a Battle Royale mode crop up multiple times that I've found even after a cursory Google search, all of which predate Brendan Green's Arma 3 mod. First on our list, we have South Sun Survival, a minigame for Guild Wars 2 that was released in July of 2013. In this game mode, up to 20 players are dropped into South Sun Cove, starting with only a bow. Players are expected to scavenge for supplies and kill other survivors to become the last one standing. Next, we have Battle Royale, a Steam Workshop mod for Counter-Strike Global Offensive, a mod that was released in July of 2014. And there is, surprisingly enough, a StarCraft 2 mod, also titled Battle Royale, that was released all the way back in May of 2011, making it the earliest Battle Royale mod for a game that I've been able to find as yet, and there are a ton of others. Now, even with all that, the idea of the last man standing game mode is certainly nothing new within video games, and we've seen examples of that back in video games in the 80s and 90s. In fact, the very idea of a last man standing is at the very core of the concept behind competitive game modes for a huge number of video games throughout the years, and is the main component behind PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds' meteoric rise to prominence. Now, as a genre, the concept of the Battle Royale is most definitely not a new one, with the Hunger Games novels starting in 2008 and of course Battle Royale in 2000. Even when limiting it to video games alone, the idea has been around for years before Brendan Greene ever stepped onto the scene, and it's no small wonder that, given its massive popularity both as a game and as a genre, it's no surprise that Epic Games is choosing to capitalize on that current popularity within their own game that seems actually quite well suited to the style. But let's take a look at Bluehole's objections within their press release. Now, first, they seem to take exception to Epic Games referencing them without asking permission first, which I find to be a little odd, as they were actually praising the title and were saying, "This is cool, we want to do something like this," which is extremely common within the video game industry. But the main point of contention is the simple fact that what they're doing is creating their own Battle Royale experience. Now, while there have been mods earlier than the Arma 3 mod, PUBG did become the first standalone Battle Royale game, but does that give Bluehole exclusive rights to the genre? No, absolutely not. That would be like saying no one should ever make any first-person shooters because they're copying the original Doom, or no roguelikes should ever be allowed to exist because of Rogue. It makes no sense. Those games pioneered their genres, but that does not grant their creators exclusive rights to the style of game that they are. Bluehole did become the first standalone Battle Royale game, but that most certainly does not give Bluehole exclusive rights to the genre as a whole. Their entire standpoint reeks of a similar mindset to that of the Fine Brothers and their attempted rationalizations behind the controversy created by their fight to trademark the word reaction. And the same reasoning to combat that apply to the Fine Brothers every bit as much as it does Bluehole in this scenario. It's not rational in many ways, but at the same time, it's easy to understand why. Bluehole has made an entire convoy of dump trucks full of cash off of the back of PUBG's success and its gambling economy business model. They're extremely loath to share the limelight with anyone else, as it will cut into their continued profits. In this instance, it's good to not only be the king, but the only one with a hat in the Battle Royale fighting ring. Bluehole has been cleaning up, and given the hundreds of millions they've made, they don't want to dilute the player base and share it with someone else. Now, even more amusing is the fact that Epic Games are the ones who created the Unreal 4 engine, which PUBG runs on. Now, I doubt there would be any legal justification behind pulling the license out from under their feet. It's still a rarefied situation with two games companies soon to be possibly duking it out, and one actually made the engine the other game runs on, but that would probably be a completely different legality issue, and that would be a very wrong move for Epic Games to do if they were to even consider it. It will be interesting, though, to see if Bluehole actually attempts to do anything about this, and as for a resolution, well, I suppose only time will tell. In the meantime, Fortnite's Battle Royale concept mixed with their construction mechanics actually look to be a bit more interesting and far more dynamic than what PUBG has to offer. I might just have to pick up the game and give it a try. In the meantime, I would like to take a moment to remind everyone that my channel's growth and continued existence depends on its viewers, so please do remember to like, share, and if you're new here, please remember to subscribe. I do also have YouTube subscriptions as well as a Patreon for those that wish to help me gain my independence and work for you full-time on this channel, and while it's not required, it is very much appreciated. And as always, please do let me know what you think down in the comments below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sid Alpha, and I'll see you next time.